I want to pick community back up. We started talking about it. That was the fourth deliberate choice that I made on my journey, was to really create community and belonging. When you and I knew each other, first off, nobody knew my story. Like nobody knew until the last 3 years, of me like finally bringing my full self here.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember when I was 30 and I was at Hewitt and I had created this unbelievable professional career. I mean, to this, I'm so proud of my professional career. But when I was 30, I was like, wow, I'm friendly with everyone. I'm friends with no one. I still had not truly created my community. I still didn't feel a true sense of belonging. And we can get into that, later, every which way from Sunday, because I do think that it's a deliberate choice. Do you know what it feels like to not belong? Like, have you ever felt like you didn't belong? And if so, what does that feel like?
This is funny. The answer is yes, and it's my entire childhood. Everything.
Tell me more, please.
It's only 18 years. I felt like I didn't belong, but it was sort of a critical 18 years. So, So in fifth grade, I had I'm sort of joking. I'm sort of not though. But I lived in a smallerish, medium-sized town, Fort Wayne, Indiana, until we were in fifth grade, in this little walled garden of a community where you could ride your bikes, and your mom would say, come home when the street lights turn on, and it was awesome. But my dad was an alcoholic, still is, because you always are. It was not going well. It was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The way he tells the story, he mouthed off to his superiors. He was a high school teacher and a basketball coach. And long story short, he ended up leaving his job. Well, what do you want to do if you're an alcoholic? You want to buy a bar and restaurant, because then you've got an unlimited supply. So we moved. So in the middle of the year in fifth grade, I moved from this little walled garden that I absolutely loved to Preble, Indiana, population around 80 people. There were 3 businesses. There was a grain elevator, a snowmobile shop that went out of business in a year, and my dad's bar and restaurant. And so he would start drinking at 6 a.m. and drink all day. And if you can imagine being in a town of 80 people, an only child, nobody around. And the clincher is I didn't hit puberty for about 3 years after everybody else did. So I go to high school, and the only thing people can say to me is, you're so skinny. I weighed 90 pounds when I went and tried out for basketball, which meant a lot to me. As a sophomore in high school, I got cut because I would go up for a rebound and bounce off of somebody. I remember specifically one instance, I went up against another guy and I just bounced off of him and and I was like a little baby.
It's not funny.
So if you can imagine that childhood, I just never felt like I fit in because I was alone all the time. I felt like a fifth grader in high school, according to my size. I probably was about that size. And it was not good. I never felt like I fit in until maybe as I got into college and some things turned around. I had a great college experience. But I actually think that struggle helped me in the end, because it sort of, through that fight, it gave me some skills I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So I actually think it was really wonderful that my dad bought that restaurant and we persevered it. And I saw my mom and dad battle through that. My dad quit drink. His last drink was August 4th, 1984. So he's been sober for a really long time. I saw him go back and get his second master's degree in substance abuse counseling after he sold the bar and restaurant and spend the last 10 or so years of his life helping others. I saw my mom persevere. They're going to have their 57th wedding anniversary in a couple weeks. A bunch of really good long-term things came out of that. But from fifth grade until high school, the end of high school was a real struggle, if that makes sense.
Thank you for sharing that. And it fills my heart to think about your mom and dad celebrating their 57th.
It's pretty cool. I just saw them this weekend for Mother's Day, and they were on cloud nine. It was cool to see them, and we're eating Mexican food and celebrating, and it was a good time.
Well, and you said in college you started to feel, that's when you started to feel belonging. What does it feel like to belong?
for me, it's spending time with people you care about in a mutually supportive way. And like we're looking out to my left and they're getting ready to board the horse, to get on the horse, wheelchair and all out there getting ready to go up a ramp. And like Becky's out there building a community where I guarantee every volunteer, the mother, the child, Becky, like they are accomplishing something that they couldn't independently. Becky can't do that without the horse. The person can't climb up on the horse without the volunteers. There's an experience going on to my left outside this window where people are bonding because they're doing things they couldn't do alone. And that to me feels like what community can be.
Perfect. Thank you for joining me for our Choose and Become interview series. You could find this episode and others at trishkendall.com. Just go to trishkendall.com/choose-become-interview-series. Or if you have a question or just want to leave a comment, email me, trish@trishkendall.com.